what we got planned for the day is we're going to start off by talking about this week in Astro, just to go over a couple of things that a couple of the community members have been doing, their work, just showcasing it, just to put it out there for other people to see. Some of pretty damn awesome things are getting made with Astro, and we all like to see it, so we figured we'd like to show you it as well. Um, First off, right, as always, this is a with Astro GitHub page where everything pretty much happens with the community and with the project itself. By all means, do check it out. That is Astro with Astro and the website with astro.build. And yeah, we'll be looking at this in a bit more detail. So, first off, we have probably one of the community's favourite members, Chris Bongers, who works for dev.daily. He's one of their well lead well team leads on the project, and he has recently taken to doing his actual a redesign of his existing website, dailydevtips.com. A great site for developers getting information about the different projects that are kicking about, tools, usability, tips and advice. Fantastic. I mean, Chris puts out an article a day, and over the last 2 years, he's written about 700 articles in total. So, yeah, he is a great um, contributor in that respect, and content creator. Yeah, and he's a really good guy to get in touch with. So, yeah, his website, just taking a look at it, it is clean. I really like it. I like how he's laid out his images. I do like the soft border radius and the box shadow that does come off it. He had a wee problem with his links that he managed to sort out. So this was his own interpretation working with the Markdown compiler. So by all means, do ask him about that. But generally speaking, his typography is lovely, is clean. Brilliant use of white space. None of this is too difficult to read. Yeah, and it is just a really fresh, clean rebuild. This is his own Twitter snapshot thing that he's done. Links to more of his articles, and as you can see, he does take time and is really good. He also has a newsletter that you can join as well. And what I want to do, and I hope you don't mind, Chris, is I am going to take this for a wee spin through Lighthouse. Sorry, let me just make my DevTools a wee bit bigger. Lighthouse, where are you? Here we go. Because with Astro sites, the real the meat is always in the pudding. So it's like what I personally like to do is just with Astro sites, because Astro sites gets really, really good performance scores, SEO scores, practices on Lighthouse. Also accessibility, but this is just an area concern. It's nothing really too fancy, right? That's just on an image. So heads up, Chris, right? But otherwise, the page is actually fantastic to load. So if you just want to take a look at these metrics here, first contentful paint is less than a second. The largest one takes just over a second, and the total blocking time is negligible. So life is good with Astro, especially when you're building static content sites. Pretty soon the SSR project is going to get rolled out and it's going to get softened out. So once we have that, Astro will be a static site generator along with server-side rendering, which is just going to be fantastic. Like, what a future that is. Secondly, I would like to show a project by another community member, Lee Morrow. This is one of the sites that he was commissioned to do. Lee Morrow takes care of the Discord community server for us. He does a great job on that, and this is a fantastic wee project, and it is really cool. AmeliteGame.com, and I'll just let you take a look at this. So yeah, a fun little animated 2D adventure game. But this site itself was built on Astro, and as you can see, we've got a couple of cool things going on. We've got a custom cursor. We've got the design on the site is something else to talk about entirely. You could be here for a full episode and talk about the design on the site. But we've got a lot of interesting things. We've got the main character falling down the side here, and it kind of brings the game to the site, and it is really, really interesting and it's really cool. It's really clean, and as you can see, it's won 4 nominated awards for the game itself. But yeah, this is our man down here who done the website, and we can say it is a fantastic job. Like, actually, standout job. Do check it out, do give it a download. Yeah, and have some fun with that. Next up is something from a member of the actual core team here at Astro, Matthew Phillips. Matthew is, um, what can we say about Matthew? He's the kind of guy that in his downtime, you can imagine, just likes to get underneath a car, right, and just work on it. And in his downtime, he came up with something outside of Astro, and this is one of the a project that he's created called Corset. Now, I don't know how to really describe this other than it blew my mind open, because this is a whole new and innovative take on creating reactive UI components without actually using your typical framework mentality. Tie it in with any backend, binds directly to the HTML that's produced. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Matthew gives us a little counter example on, because every framework has a counter example, where we have, the DOM elements. Just we have a div, a button, a button, a button, and we have a placeholder for the counter. And so this looks pretty straightforward, right? We have the classes, right, which class to increment, class to decrement, and a class for the result as well. With these buttons, they seem to be just printed out statically on the HTML. So nothing too interesting going on here, apart from what one would normally expect. And then life gets a wee bit more interesting on this side. So we could import it from a CDN over here. You know what, we're web developers, so let me just see if I can make this box a wee bit bigger. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Saw it. Nope. There we go. Bigger. Right. Sorry about that, Matthew. So what we're doing is just to get it on the screen, we're just basically going, right, okay. So we've got a function that basically looks like a render function down here, right? We've got a literal that basically does some sort of binding onto the HTML, I believe, right? Because we've got a call in a document passing through the class, and then we've got a state up here, which is a count. And right, so the coolest thing about Corset straight off the bat is that there's not much else going on in terms of the JavaScript. This all looks like CSS. I don't know if you could tell this, but this looks like a CSS. There's your dot class, there's your actual brackets, there's your key, and then your var and your value. So, it's like we've got CSS properties up here, right, which basically refers to the count, right? That's bam, bam, sorry, bam, 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 there. And then we've got the count, and we're just increasing it by 1, and then we're decreasing it by 1 using these CSS variables, passing them into this increment class, which is up here in the HTML, and likewise with the decrement class, which is up here with the HTML. It's also got some toggling ability going on. if it meets a condition. And then we've got some event handlers going on. I mean, there is a lot going on here, more that meets the eye, and it is really interesting. So by all means, please do take a good look at Corset. It's again, Matthew's pet project. I do love the name. I love the logo. Really do love everything about this project. And he even gave us a code pen demo for us to take a look at. I'm not going to go too much into this other than by all means do take a look at the code pen demo, and we will be sharing these links as well for you as well in the description, I believe. So yes, next up, this week in Astro, it's been quite a busy week. So we have quite a lot of changes been happening to the documentation over the last couple of weeks. But this week in particular, especially towards the end of this week in particular, a lot of it's kind of coalesced and came out live. So I like to take time because our partner in crime, Sarah, has been pretty much dealing with this head on. So, Sarah, if you would like to basically talk about what you've been doing recently with the Astro Docs project.
Sure. So the page already has a little bit of a facelift. Fred has added the left sidebar there, our Learn and API sections for the for more of the reference type material. So we've streamlined that a little bit. Mo, we have new content there. Our getting started is new. We have funky Astro buttons right up front. Open in Code Sandbox, open in StackBlitz, unless you're on my Chromebook, in which case you're not going to open in StackBlitz. But yeah, so you can get started. You can try a new Astro project right away, right from the main page. So I was thrilled when we got the new page up there. I'm pretty sure it was Nate that gave us the buttons for the page. So get started, and if you just scroll down the get started, it's a lot cleaner than it used to be. It's got some suggestions as to where you might want to go or what you might want to do next. Of course, it features our community prominently. Yeah, and then on the left, our setup section, our basic section, I think all of the pages in the basics are new. So if you haven't been in the docs recently, go take a read, and yes, let the typo bug bounties begin, because these pages are all brand new, and we've had several eyes over them. Fuzzy and Chris and I, especially in the docs channel, have been documenting word by word and just haggling over specific word choices, but there could still be some typos. On every page, we still have on the right-hand side under more this edit this page. So if you find a typo, if you find something there, yeah, just click it, just send a pull request. We love community involvement. So clicking on that will take you right to the page you were on. And yeah, if you got a suggestion or you got an improvement for us, you can send a pull request, you can file an issue. And speaking of pull requests, we are going to let you in on a little sample of what's to come here. I think Fuzzy's got it.
I do.
There.
I just want to quickly touch on a couple of cool things in the docs. There's this, is it the configuration reference? I think it is. Yes, right. There's this new
oh, right, yes.
Yeah, that Fred has also been working on, along with I believe Ben as well, right?
Yep.
Which I think is fantastic because it's really, broken out the config part of astro.config, right? And has really made it from a top level down more understanding of what's happening in that file in particular, right? Likewise with the references for the renders, this is a lot better in terms of digesting what's happening. There is so much to the docs. I'm actually enjoying the way it's been done, Sarah. Thank you very much, and congratulations on your hard work. The markdown page is also being redone. Like you're saying, there's so much to this. It's insane. So yeah, let the bug bounty begin. But as you're talking about, we do have a preview to show off, right? And that's not it. That's not it. And it's this. This is done by Chris, our very own in the community. Not Chris Bongers. I can't say his GitHub handle. So yeah, and he's basically put a nice lavender design over the top of it. As you can see,
I love the inline code styles. I love that slight shading and back.
yeah,
Yes, I love those. They kind of pop now.
I mean, I really,
And I love it in dark mode.
but for me, it just has to be a tiny bit darker at the bottom. You know, it's like this should be a darker, instead of it being lighter, it should be darker. But other than that, it looks beautiful. I love purple. Purple for me is my favorite color. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So this is
I'm
all
all about it.
this is all still just draft right now. We're fine tuning it, but to go with a lot of the improved content and organization, we are looking forward to bringing you some more Astro level styling that kind of goes more with our funky Astro.build main page.
Of course, because the funky.astro.build page is just, well, Nate level-tastic. You know, and it's like there's so many small things going on here, and it's just utterly brilliant. You know, it showcases Astro very well. Automatic partial hydration. There's so much stuff going on in here. But yeah, it is fantastic.
Yeah,
And
so we
then,
can't wait for the docs page to look as good as the main page.
of course. And so people are right, anyways. So yes, and then we've got to the crack of the week, which is, I think we're going to rebrand LGTM to Let's Get This Merged.
Yes, this is still good. This was one of the many things I've had to screenshot over the last little while. Let's get this merged. I think that was the theme of this week in Astro, with the docs at least.
Oh, pretty much. I mean, I think you were doing like 3 or 4 mergers a day. I mean, if we were to look at your GitHub profile, it'd be amazing. Good morning, Ben. Pleasure to have you on board, my friend. Hope you had a good week working at Astro. Yes, just to let people know, Ben has recently joined Astro Core, which is a fantastic addition to the team, and so he's going to be bringing all his many crazy. He's just amazing. So yeah, it's great to have him, especially adding to the team what they got. Yeah, it'd be fantastic. So Ben, you just missed us catching up on this week in Astro. So what we done, we just basically provided a catch up over what the users have done, showcased a wee bit of Corset from what Matt has worked on, and just to say that this has even got a shout out on Ryan at Solid's most recent stream that he did. So yeah, I felt like it was only fair to, give it a wee call out as well. Do check it out, guys. It is fun. It is a very interesting concept. Matt in his spare time. So yes, now I think we should go on to the last big news, which is pretty much ties us into the work for the day quite nicely. I need to reload. Right. Sorry, guys. What we're doing here is we're basically I had it open, right, is working with Astro's Xbird, right? Well, sorry. This is a project that me and Sarah have been doing, what, 2 weeks now, Sarah? But must say, last week we really started taking a different direction with it. And this week we're following on with that. We're basically taking X element and trying to recreate a React app that Sarah wrote for her bird police to monitor and establish the location of birds around wherever they are. And yeah, so we're basically breaking that out into X element using Astro and seeing how far we can get with this. And so far, we're doing pretty damn well with this. The previous week videos are up and edited and majority of them transcribed. Thank you, Sarah, very much for this. By the way, I don't know where you find the time. But they're up on YouTube there. You'll find the link there. You could also follow along. The branches are available, right, on this particular repo. Again, the links will be attached, right? But yes, so what we've got is Astro, we've got eBird, and we've got Gitpod. Now, I want to just basically talk about Gitpod in a way that is pretty damn cool for us. A big change for this. Matt and Erica, also like to give a shout out, has been working on the Astro language extension for VS Code, and not only that, they've also put it onto the OpenVSX marketplace. So last week, whereas we had very little ability to do any control over the styling, we have syntax styling for Astro files in Gitpod, which I think is amazing because it makes Sarah's life so much better.
Yes, this was the first time. This was the first time I had seen any Astro code highlighted in my own work in a while.
It must have came like a shock to you. Sorry, I don't like bright white theme colors, so I'm just going to tone this down, just for the sake of it. I think it's this one. Yes, right. So everybody's go-to, right? And what we have here, right? Sarah, I'm just going to basically do this in the browser. There was a way that I did find that you could get it set up, that you could also launch Gitpod from your own VS Code. So if you have VS Code installed on your local machine, you could also tie this in with this exact development environment. And I think that's just amazing. Like, the connection between, browser, being able to remotely develop anywhere, the limitations to that is drastically being cut down. And we really got to, thank people like Gitpod, Code Sandbox, StackBlitz, the likes of them, for really pushing the browser experience and pushing the, the whole content developer experience inside the browser. And yeah, forever grateful for that. But yes, I want to just say that the Astro, we've got it installed here. Is it? Where is it? It's somewhere. Right, if we don't have it, let's do it. Astro. And that's it here. So we've got Astro now in Gitpod, and we're just going to install it into the workspace. Just so folk can see what's going on. And that's it installed. Fantastic. Right, so what we get go to definitions, hovers, code hovers, so you get your full IntelliSense. The developer experience is getting a lot better. And I have to say that this most recent change that we're on, 0.11, really does fix a lot of bugs, corrects a lot of things, and there's been improvements made to the general TypeScript and the language server that powers Astro as well. So looking forward to this one.